Okay, everybody, we are going to do a quick colored pencil demonstration. Some of you guys that are Artapalooza students may have heard this before, but I got to tell you, as a high school teacher, seeing kids who've gone through K through 8, apparently getting art class and maybe having experience with colored pencils, people stink at colored pencils. They still stink. They sometimes still stink after I teach them 1, 2, 3, 4 times until they finally get it. Colored pencils, number one, need to be good quality. Do not, if you're doing colored pencils, don't waste your time with the cheap bargain ones that you get at like Walmart. You want to look for good colored pencils. You'll notice our box that we have here, or that many of you have probably at your kits, are either Scholar or Prismacolor. There's different levels. You can tell, really, I hate to say it, in colored pencil world, for the most part, the more expensive they are, the better they are. It's just one of those things that you don't want to chintz on. If you have, we had a set of colored pencils that we bought here at Artapalooza that I hated so much that when Miss Krista wasn't looking, I started throwing them away in the trash because they were horrible. What happens with cheap colored pencils is they're very waxy and they don't blend and they're not juicy, is the only word I can think of, okay? Another really key important thing that I pound into kids' heads is colored pencils are only good when they're sharp. Even if you have the world's most expensive colored pencil, if your colored pencil is not sharp, you are not going to get what you want. You need to have a sharpener with you at all times, and you need to sharpen all of the time. In between, every couple of minutes, sharpen. Colored pencils also can be very delicate. If you have a colored pencil that you sharpen and it keeps breaking, and you sharpen and it keeps breaking, and you sharpen, it means inside the color pencil, inside the cartridge that holds the color, somebody dropped the colored pencil, and inside the hollow, the color has broken a bunch of times. So you sharpen and then you get to a broken piece, and you sharpen and you get to a broken piece. That's why you want, particularly if you spend money on your colored pencils, you do not want to throw them on the floor or throw the pack down on the floor. You really, really want to be kind to them. When you spend money on your art supplies, you really want to take care of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about a blend. You guys have the example worksheet at home. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do kind of how to make marks with colored pencils and how to achieve a really good blend. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go pretty quick, but I'm going to be working on a center petal here. Usually with colored pencil, you work from light to dark. If I start with dark purple colored pencil, I can lighten it a very small amount by putting a white or a lavender on top of it. But if it's really, really heavily applied, dark colored pencil, the only thing I could do is possibly erase, and that will not remove all the color. It will just remove some. So when you're doing your drawings, you always want to start with your lightest, and you don't want to press hard at first. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our yellow colored pencil, and I want you to color in this middle petal here very softly. Do not do big, giant scribble, scrabble strokes. What you're going to do is kind of a circular motion and not press hard at all. You do not have to fill in every single area of the petal yet, but you do want to kind of get some nice, I'm doing very soft, small strokes. I like circular strokes. I'm going to try to bring it in the light here so you can see a little bit better. I can still see white pieces of paper or paper shining through a little bit. That's okay. I don't want that when I'm done, but for now, that's fine. If you have too much white, you can change the direction of your stroke. So I was going sideways. Now I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to just make a crossover because it's just going to help me fill in some of the white that I missed when I was doing my first quick go around. I am not pressing hard at all. Okay? So I really just want to get my yellow fairly nicely colored on here. It's hard to tell. There we go in the light here. I don't have a whole lot of white shining through. I don't see a lot of scribble scrabbles, but I haven't pressed hard, and I don't really have anything other than kind of a soft yellow even tone. That's what you want to go to. I'm actually going to sharpen my pencil again. Okay, so once I have the yellow colored pencil going, and I kind of have it everywhere, I'm going to think about dimension and dimensionality. I know, generally speaking, my light is going to be shining from the sun, so I know I'm going to want to get darker on my petals down below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my orange colored pencil, that's my medium colored pencil, and I'm going to decide that the bottom of my flower won't really even see much yellow. The yellow is going to be very apparent up top where the sun is shining down below, but my orange is going to go on top at the bottom here. Again, now I'm pressing still light to medium pressure. I'm going to go along the bottoms and I'm going to just lightly get my orange on top of my yellow. The way you blend colors with colored pencil is by layering different colors over each other or adding more pressure or both. Right now, I'm still at light pressure. Okay, and then I'm going to start to soften my pressure as I go up towards the top of the flower. I barely have any pressure, and I'm blending in. So down below, I'm going to go back again. So down below, you're starting to see orange. Up here in the middle, you can't really tell too much that my orange has been there. It's going to be really slow and gradual, guys. The thing about colored pencil, particularly for my little ones, is you got to be patient. You got to use your circular strokes. You can turn your paper to change direction. The more times I go over with my orange, the more you're going to start to see orange appear. I'm not changing my pressure at all. I've just gone over the bottom, very bottom, about 4 times. If I go again and I add some more, you're going to start to, I'm still not pressing hard, but you're going to start to see more and more orange show through on top of the yellow. I'm still pretty light. I'm also sometimes turning my colored pencil because part of it gets flattened out when I keep going, so I'll turn it so that another kind of more sharper piece that hasn't been used yet gets revealed, and that way I don't have to sharpen every 2 seconds. All right, so what I've got here is almost all yellow on top, 1 or 2 strokes of orange in the middle, 4 or 5 strokes of orange on the bottom. I feel like I have a little bit of a stripe right here between here and here, and then I have a little bit of stripe right here between here and here. In order to make that go away, I gotta do 2 things. The first thing is I'm gonna go back in with my yellow, and I'm gonna go over and add a little bit more pressure to my yellow, so my yellow's getting more brilliant up at top. And it's also going back into that orange. Now I would say my pressure right now is about medium. I'm not hurting my hands, and I'm never gonna go crazy hard. But I would say I'm pressing a little bit harder than when I started. My yellow's gone back into the orange. Some of the white places that were in between my orange strokes have gotten filled with yellow. I'm changing my direction a little bit. So now my color's getting a little bit more brilliant. I still have some stripey things to work with. I can see a stripe particularly right there, orange, yellow. So now I'm gonna get my orange out and I'm gonna try to blend this in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some more orange really softly into the yellow. And I'm gonna do circular soft strokes. And I'm softly gonna go into this and try to get to the areas where I saw a stripe and just add a little bit of soft orange to add a blend. You can't smear with colored pencils, so the only way you can do it is by layering colors. Another technique that you can turn to is at the end you can add, or sometimes even here, you can add a little bit of white or you can erase. All right, so I should have a nice, and I know I'm going fast. I hope you're not feeling really pressured. I have kind of gotten rid of my stripes. If you have a stripe right now, you want to start working really back and forth between where your yellow and your orange meet. Put your yellow into your orange, put some soft orange into your yellow, and try to make it a gradual transition From the yellow, it's gonna go orange, mostly orange, a little bit of yellow in my orange, a lot of bit of yellow in my orange, and then yellow. All right? So next what I'm gonna do, that looks beautiful. I might get a, if your orange is pretty light at the bottom, get darker down below. Like you wanna be pretty nicely orange here. You don't wanna be completely soft. Booch, I know we needed some transitioning here a little bit, so let's get that. I think she needs to work on a transition. You got some stripes. And now, and then switch direction. Maybe two go that way.
It looks good. You were
looking good.
Go
a little bit on either side with your fingers, okay? So your orange also wants to have kind of a smile because my petal is curved. Remember, we have a curved petal. So you don't want to have a stripe straight across your flower. So if you have shadows, be sure your orange is a little higher on this side and on this side and dips down here because remember, my petal is curved, so all of my color values should also be curved. It's just going to add a little bit more 3D. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add my red. Particularly for this brand, I find sometimes the darker colors are more juicy than the lighter colors. This red is gonna go down hard and pretty, and it has also already got some colored pencil, some pretty, like 5 coats of colored pencil. So when you add this, you're gonna find that this is pretty vibrant right away. So my red is super powerful almost immediately. I'm not pressing hard at all, but I'm getting some really, really nice, rich red. I'm gonna go very carefully with this and make kind of a dark red stripe along the bottom and then blend it out because as I said, the red is pretty powerful, and because I have lots of layers of orange and yellow down below, it's going on in a very opaque, rich manner, and I love it, but I don't want to have this super dark red stripe for very much of my picture. So here I'm at this very bottom part of my flower. I would say I'm giving like medium pressure. I'm pushing down and I'm making sure there's no white showing. I can't see any white paper shine through. My tip is a little dull here, so now I'm going to sharpen again. And now I got to softly, carefully start pulling my red into my orange. And I'm going to go really slow now and really light, because I want to be really careful. It can get very stripy very fast if you go too big or too hard too fast. So I have a stripe. I need to start transitioning this stripe from here to here into that, and that stripe from orange here. So I'm going to start pulling near my dark, and I'm going to curl and softly try to blend out that stripe. I'm not pressing hard at all now. I'm just layering it and changing directions. Make sure your strokes are little. A lot of people like to do these big giant strokes because they're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry with colored pencil, it is not going to work out in your favor. So I'm changing my circular strokes. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about it, but I'm thinking, all right, so my red is going into my orange. I may grab my orange back up and get into my soft red again a little bit harder, so that I'm having a blend from the orange to the orange red, which is also helping that stripe go away. And again, I'm still doing sort of a curve. My red and my orange dark goes higher on either side. It's lower in the middle because again, I'm trying to sell my curved flower. I might change directions completely and really make that nice curved shape on my petal. I'm going to keep sharpening. I feel like my orange is a little dull here. Okay, I'm going to go back and get my red in again. Oops, I just made some big marks, so I have to get those out of there. Circular, circular, circular. Okay, and if I have any white of my paper showing through, I'm just gonna make sure I do my circular strokes. And I less pressure as I go up with the red. Same with the orange. I could even be crazy if I want to add a little bit of white to the top of my yellow. I said 3 colored pencils, but maybe I'll get some white in here. The white you really can't see. It's not super powerful. It just will kind of do a nice lightening and kind of burnishing. You probably won't even be able to tell on the camera here what I'm doing, but I'm just adding a little bit of white. Sometimes that helps with the blend too, so I can go over the whole flower with white. It sometimes smears out. And so if you enjoy doing this, you can do the whole flower. You're gonna do the red where there is shadow. Ooh, oh, my top broke. That's such a bummer, Miss Carissa. I lost the tip of my pencil. So that's kind of, if you have a really good blend, and I can see a few areas that I have to fix. I got a line here. But overall, I feel like I have a really nice red to orange to yellow white. And then I'm pretty happy. And if I really enjoy doing this, I could do the whole worksheet. It just depends on how much time you want to spend on that. But that's how you do colored pencil. You should not, this is what I see. Kids doing this. Oh, look it, it's colored in, yay. Yellow, and then it looks like that. That's no good. Okay, so that's colored pencil for today. We're gonna be doing some pen and ink in a little while. Thanks.